Hey guys, Sean, New Jersey Outdoors. Unless you're living in South Florida, California, or desert somewhere, you're probably like me and you're dealing with a very long, cold, and seemingly endless snowy winter. But since we can't get out in the kayaks and go fishing, this is a good time to go over your kayak, go over your gear, add what you're missing, replace what you lost, fix what you broke, and more importantly, go through and make sure you got what you need. What I did is I divided everything into two categories. Category one being safety items, things that you have to have on your kayak as far as safety. And category two, things that you should have that will just make your day more enjoyable and easier. So let's get started with category one, the safety items. First safety item you have to have, I don't have one right here to show you, is life jacket. Life vest, which is what I wear. Somebody just the other day was asking me what I feel about the suspender type ones that you inflate when you need. Not a big fan. I like to go by the adage, gotta be prepared, you never know. Just the fact that, God forbid something happens, there's one thing I have to do is pull that cord to activate the life jacket. You know, I mean, let's face it, you're in a panic situation, you're not thinking right. You have the life jacket on, you're good. God forbid you get knocked out, you know, and you didn't pull that cord, it's not going to help you. I go with the traditional fishing vest. It zips up and it's got two buckles. Gotta wear them, okay? I know guys that bring them, throw them in the milk crate in the back, strap them to the back. I've even seen guys sit on them. Alright, for a life jacket to be effective, 100% effective, gotta wear it properly and also make sure it's properly fit. If it's too loose, it's not going to work. You go in that water, it's going to ride up and it's not going to support you the right way. Too tight and you're going to be too constricted. You're not going to be able to move. And if you have to swim, you're not going to be able to because it's going to be too constricting. So, number one, most important, life jacket. Another one I always bring with me is my radio. Okay, I don't bring this on the freshwater all the time, simply because I'm by myself a lot on freshwater. Saltwater, I always bring it. If there's a few of us going out on freshwater and we all have them, we'll bring them. If we get split up, you know, even just to talk, you know, hey guys, I'm on fish over here. Or you know, hey, I'm leaving. Saltwater, I always bring it. Alright, I had never gone out saltwater by myself, but even if I went out by myself, I would still bring it. The one I got is a Midland Nautico. I think it ran around $50, $60. It came with the radio, came with this charging stand, it came with a rechargeable battery. Although from what I read, it takes 4 AA batteries, I believe, and the AA batteries last longer than the rechargeable battery. So every time I go out, I make sure I got 4 fresh batteries in here, 4 fresh for backup. It also came with this mic and earpiece. Don't know if this works or not, never used it. It also came with the charger for the home and charger for the car. And it's got a clipped strap. The other part of this strap is on my life vest. This way I clip the strap, clip the radio to my vest. If it falls off, it's not going to go overboard. It's going to hold, this cord is going to hold it on the boat. Another safety item that you got to have with you, first aid kit. Now, this is not a first aid kit designed to be around water on a boat or whatever, but I bought it to get me through the summer. I'm going to look into getting a better one for this coming season. But this has pretty much everything that you would need. You hope you don't need, but God forbid you did. It's got a compass in it, it's got a whistle, it's got gauze bandage, it's got the first aid tape, tweezers, it's got band-aids, it's got sting cream, get stung by a bee, whatever. It's got burn cream. I mean, a lot of different things in here. And this handy pouch that zips up. I stick this in the milk crate, so it's always with me. It's got some information on the back. I don't know if you can read some of that. Tells you actually what's in it, everything that's in it. Easy Care First Aid System is what it's called. It wasn't too expensive. I think it was like $10, $20, something like that. Got this at Sports Authority. Like I said, it's got everything you hope you don't need, but God forbid if you did. Knife. I always carry a knife with me. Use this just in case you got to cut free or something. Freshwater I anchor up a lot. Even if it's not an emergency situation and I can't get my anchor freed, at least I know I can cut it, tie a buoy on it, and this way I can come back later and get it. Hook into a big fish, you can't reel him in, he's taking you out too far. If you're on the salt water, you can't reel him in. Just cut the line. You can free yourself up. I don't put this in the milk crate. I don't put this in my hatch. I keep this handy. Sometimes I'll either clip it on my vest, or I have a strap for my rod pod, and I'll clip it on the strap. Keep this right by me. Another safety item, buff. As you can see, I'm bald and I'm also Irish, so I don't tan. I go from white to burnt. So I always bring my buff. A lot of different ways you can wear this. Show you the way I wear it. I wear it up around this. Keep the neck covered from the sun. Alright, I'll usually, always have a hat on. So the hat to cover my head. Use the buff to cover my neck, especially the back of my neck. I douse myself with sunscreen, but I also use this. And if the sun's really strong and I can feel it burning my ears, I can even tuck it up under the hat and keep my ears covered. A couple of times I've done this too. You see a lot of guys down fishing the flats, down in Florida Keys, the Bermuda, Bahamas, whatever. If the sun gets really strong, you can wear it up like this. Keep the sun completely off your face. You got the bill of the hat, keep the sun off your forehead, plus you have your sunglasses on, and the buff. Also, you can wear it like this, like a do-rag. Then you just take the top, take the rest of this, you can take this, tuck it under the back, wear it like a do-rag, and over your ears. Keep the sun off your ears. And if you're not worried about your ears getting sunburned, just simply pull it up and wear it around your ears like a do-rag. Bunch of other ways to wear it. They even have buff fingerless gloves made of the same material, UV protection. This way your hands won't get any sunburn. I also bring my cell phone. I got an iPhone with the life-proof waterproof cover on it. I bring this. This is good for, the radio is good for kayak to kayak, kayak to boat communication. The cell phone is good for kayak to shore communication, whether it's an emergency or not. I always tell. Another thing I do too is when boaters go out, they use what's called a float plan. They leave basically an itinerary with someone. Leaving from such and such a marina. I'm gonna fish for 5 hours. Come back at this time. This way, if it gets past that time and they're not back yet, and they need to search, they'll know where to start and at least where they were headed to. I do the same with my wife. I'll tell her, going kayak fishing Raritan Bay and launching out of Keyport. I should be out for like 5 hours. Can use this too if I decide to come back early and head somewhere else, which I've done. I've launched out of Manasquan, told her I'm going to be in Manasquan all day. It was too windy, so I left and went somewhere else. Used the cell phone, tell her. I also use this filming with my GoPro. I use them together, but I'll get into that later. But yeah, I bring this all the time too. That's pretty much it that I carry for safety reasons. If I forgot anything, or you guys have other safety items that you carry and you want to let me know, or let other people know, just comment below. Alright, now on to category 2, things that aren't necessarily safety items, but things that I carry with me on every trip to make things a lot easier. I know this is kind of old and rusty looking, but this is my hook out. I bring this freshwater, saltwater. I don't even know where I got this. I've had this for a long time. Get these at Dick's Sports Authority, and I think almost any tackle shop carries them. It's good to you know, take hooks out of fish's mouth. You can get them from right from the lip or pretty far down. I also carry Fishfinder. I got the Lowrance X4 Pro. It's pretty good to have. Finds fish, obviously. You can read the water temperature, water depth, and the bottom structure. I had this for about a little over a year. I use this, again, freshwater, saltwater. Even fluke fishing. It doesn't pick up the fish. Obviously, there's a fluke on the bottom, but it's good to find the drop-offs where they like to hang out. I will one of these days do a full review on this. I also bring, in addition to my pocket knife I showed, I also have this on board. I keep it in the sheath, the fillet knife. This is good for cutting bait when I'm using squid strips, clams. Sometimes I do have a clam knife I use. I also use this. This is good to cut the squid. It's good to have. I don't fillet fish with it. In New Jersey, it's illegal to fillet fish that have a size limit while you're out in the water. You have to wait till you get back. I also carry this Real Magic. This is good. This it gets it's almost like reduces the static, the resistance of the line. Sometimes I actually notice I cast a little further with it. You spray it on the line on the reel, down the rod, all through the guides, right up to the lure. The only thing, I don't use this on my fly rod. I don't know if it's going to affect the fly line or anything. I use it for my spinning and my bait casting gear. Bug spray. I always have bug spray on hand. You never know. Even though I don't really use it in the winter that much, I still keep it. It's not 100% effective on those green biting flies, but I do notice a difference. I use this more freshwater fishing closer to the shoreline in the summertime. You get a lot of mosquitoes and whatnot. So it's good to have. GoPro. You always have the GoPro. I said earlier with the iPhone, what I do is I used to use the GoPro only, and I would put it up in the front of the kayak and film me fishing on this way. I got a lot of videos on YouTube. I've watched tons of videos on YouTube, and one thing I can tell you, one camera angle videos are boring. Alright, yes, I said boring. I know I have a bunch of videos on there. I know they're boring. More camera angles, the better. What I'll do now is I got the tripod mount for this. Put it on the monopod. It's going to go in the rod holder on the side, up this way. I'll have the iPhone down in the front. This way when I'm editing, I can cut back and forth. I can cut and have the video coming up this way, and I can have video coming this way, so I can cut back and forth. And I can even take that camera on this side and put it off. And what also is neat with it, since it's on the monopod, I can take it off and I can put it under the water for a fish release. So you can see underwater either fish release or the end of the fight as soon as I'm about to boat the fish. So I'll always bring these two. Another thing I bring that I don't have in front of me is sunscreen. Sunscreen can actually go in the safety item too. SPF 15, SPF 30, this is pretty much, from what I've been told, is the highest. Anything above that is, I'm pretty sure it's SPF 15 is pretty much the highest, but I don't care. They can come out with an SPF 2000 and charge $10 more, and I'm going to buy it. Like I said earlier, I don't tan. I go from white to burnt. So the more sunscreen I can put on, the better. The only thing you got to watch, I do have the dry suit. The sunscreen does affect the neoprene cuff, so you got to be careful with that. I also bring a hand towel. I try to bring two in the summertime when it gets really hot. One I'll dunk in the water and just put over my head, or I use it to cool down, and the other I use just to dry off. When I'm clamming or cutting up bunker, your hands can get really slimy. It's a good way to drop something, have it slip out of your hands, so I have that just to towel my hands off. And that's pretty much it. Of course, I bring all the extras, you know, 3, 4 poles, sometimes a 2-spinning, a bait casting, fly rod, and any tackle I may need. But like I said, if you guys have anything else that you bring all the time, safety wise or not, anything to make your day out a little easier, just put a comment below and you know, let me know what you bring. Otherwise, that's pretty much it, and hopefully I'll see you guys out in the water soon.